Hi, I'm Sabrina.
Hi, I'm Sam.
And we're both from 𝐒𝐻𝐼.
Let's go!
Today we're going to teach you exactly how to rock, and just before we start, here's a little disclaimer about what we're about to teach you.
So we're going to teach you the actual technique of the rock, but we're not going to teach you an exact style on how to do it. There are different styles that our crew has adapted to, like Cali or Melbourne, but we're trying to teach you just the technique so that
Strictly
you can develop
technique.
your own. So to begin, we're going to be teaching you two components.
The first one is going to be all about your primary foot. This is the foot that's T-stepping the entire time you're rocking. So Sam's just going to show you right now. This is the foot that all your weight is on the entire time you're rocking back and forth. And it's the primary foot because it's the foot that guides you. The secondary foot is the foot that does the tapping. That's what we're going to call it in this video, the tapping. You guys can call it whatever you choose to. But the tapping is basically what the secondary foot does as you're rocking across doing your T-step. This foot can do whatever it wants, basically.
Because all of your weight distribution is on your back foot, or what we're going to call the primary foot.
So we're going to teach you two ways of learning how to rock. The first one is going to be the true technique. So this is the exact and most correct technique you should be using when you become advanced and you've been practicing for a long time. So it's going to look a little something like this. That's exactly what it's going to look like when you become a pro like Sam. The second way that we're going to teach you is the beginner way. So this way is without the T-step, and instead of the T-step you're doing little tiny micro bounces, but keeping the same positioning of your feet while using the micro bounce to bring you back and forth instead of a T-step. So it's going to look a little something like this. And this is how a lot of us as a crew learned how to do it. So as you can see, she's just little tiny bounces across while doing the same positioning.
So for the true style, we're going to be demonstrating how your primary foot is going to be T-stepping, while your secondary foot will be tapping. So Sabrina's going to show us a combination that we put together that was the easiest for us when we first started learning. It's going to be a heel-toe combination, and then you're going to come open so that you can switch feet, and that's where your weight distribution is going to go.
So heel, toe, open. Heel, toe, open.
Heel, toe, open. Heel, toe, open.
So your primary foot switches back and forth as you do your rock. So when you're going in this direction, your primary foot is always the opposite foot of the direction you're going in. So in this case, it's my left foot guiding as I'm doing my heel, toe, open. And then when you switch the weight onto the foot that just opened, then this becomes your primary foot, and you can begin your heel again into your toe open. So it looks like this.
Heel, toe, open. Heel, toe, open. So the next thing you need to remember with any style of rocking is that there's an imaginary horizontal line that you're following. So when I'm T-stepping or when I'm micro-bouncing, the inside of my foot face towards what I like to call my audience. So wherever I'm facing to. If I'm dancing to the front or the back, my foot is going to be open to them. Closed, open. So the horizontal line is what the path you're going to follow when you're rocking. So Sabrina's going to show us. So her back foot is staying stationary with it with each T-step. She's not coming forward and back. She's going back and forth. Yep.
So you want to stay away from turning in a circle or just randomly turning in directions, because the idea is that you are going back and forth on this line, and that's how it's going to look clean as well.
Yep.
So to help you guys out, we're going to do it the reverse way, because I know flipping the camera is a little bit hard when you're trying to learn. So we're just going to demonstrate really quick how it looks from behind. So heel, toe, open. Heel, toe, open. Heel, toe, open. Heel, toe, open. Okay, so now moving into second method. This is the beginner method in which you are micro bouncing.
So the reason we do a modification is because it's a little bit easier to get the micro bounce than it is to get an actual T-step. For some shufflers that might have a T-step, it might be easy for you, but for people that are just beginning, we learned after being able to T-step how to micro bounce first.
Yes.
So for the modified version, your primary foot is going to be bouncing back, which we call micro bouncing, but you're still going to have the secondary foot doing the same tapping combination that we just taught with the true technique.
So you're actually practicing a micro bounce instead of a T-step going back and forth on your horizontal line. So you can think of it as just little tiny hops off the ground that's going to help you move back and forth. So Sandra's going to demonstrate right now.
So my foot's going to be open to my audience, and it's just going to be...
So this is what it looks like without the tapping. And you can practice this alone just to get the feeling of it before you start adding the tapping in. So this is what it looks like when you add the tapping. So she's just going to do the micro bounce with her primary foot, but her secondary foot is going to do the same motion that it was doing before. But instead of doing her T-step across, she's doing the micro bounce to bring her across.
Open, 1, 2, open, 1, 2, open.
And you can think of it as little glides across the floor if that helps as well. Like, it doesn't have to be an actual hop off the ground, but whatever just kind of slightly moves you with small movements across the floor. And this is basically mimicking a T-step before your leg is actually strong enough to really go into a proper T-step during your rock.
Yep. So once you learn the technique of rocking, you also need to have a key fundamental, which we call the running man. So now we're going to teach you how to transition from your rock, the basic combination that we just taught you, into a basic running man as well. So now we're going to be demonstrating with the combination we just taught you, the heel toe open. We're going to be adding 2 running mans to the left and to the right. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate what it's going to look like. So it's going to be heel, toe, open. So from the open position, you're now going to do a running man and take your primary foot up and forward, up and forward. We're going to do 2. So heel, toe, open, up, forward, heel, toe, open. So now that you've learned rocking, there's no set combination to rock. We taught you a heel, toe, open combination, but you can go from your heel to your toe. You can do 2 heels. You can do
kicks, like whatever you prefer.
You can do whatever you want.
However you want to interpret the moves. We're just giving you the basic technique. From there, you can go wherever you want and adapt any style that you like as well. Lastly, and the most important thing, is that we want you to remember that you're not going to get there unless you practice. It's all about the muscle memory, and it's important to keep practicing these moves over and over till you feel comfortable.
Even if you have to just practice your primary foot, either T-stepping or micro bouncing, don't even have the tapping involved, and then add in your tapping once it becomes second nature to you. So we just want you to be creative with how you take these moves, and you can transition them into anything you want. Spins, glides, running man, rocking. Let's get it.
Woo! And kill it.
Motherfucking kill it. So to begin,
I'm like,
to begin, begin. Okay, you ready? Okay. To begin. To begin. No, not strong fundamental. Another key fundamental.